Hey, how are you going?
I'm going very well. I expected to see you cut shot in the opener over point.
Yeah, no, I only saved that for special occasions, mate. Of course, Isaac, always great to have you here filling in for Nathan Brown. Nathan, two of his children are in grand finals today, his son and one of his daughters. So back-to-back on the same oval, one after the other, which is handy. Your boy has got a prelim today,
Yes, so I'll be racing off after the show to watch that as well. So it's an exciting time of year for the kids.
Fantastic stuff. And Rory, great to have you back, mate.
Good to be back. My kids are way too young to be doing weekend sports, so I'm just going to enjoy my Sunday.
Exactly, and we look forward to Thursday. We'll talk about that in detail in just a moment. But as I said in the introduction there, it will be a hotbed of emotion, won't it?
Yeah, it will be. And I just hope, for me, like, I hope everyone remembers that at this game, you're there to support your team and, like, support them with absolute passion, support them with pride, but be wary. Like, I'll never tell anyone what to say or do, but remember there's kids in the stadium. And remember the example you set for those kids, because they're there to watch their heroes on the ground, and they'll look up to the people in the grandstands like most people do. You look up to your parents and their parents' friends, and what you say and do will affect those kids going forward. So I just hope the crowd is there to be passionate and support their teams, and I'll leave it.
And not forget who the victim was.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's not a Crows player.
No, not at all. And so I just hope everyone supports with passion for their team in the right way.
All right, well said. And Damien Barrett is also here, ready for another big weekend of headlines.
Yeah, nicely said there too, Rory. I hope people do listen to what you have said there. Now, I saw something interesting during the week, TJ, on the Gold Coast, actually, when the Suns needed to win and in from a finals perspective. There was a lot of deep thinking, a lot of breathing, a lot of meditation, just getting their heads around what needed to be done in that game, beat Essendon and make an inaugural finals berth. 15 years in the AFL competition, and it reminded me of something that happened last on an AFL venue back in 2017 involving next to me. It had a power stance feel about it, Rory. And I just wanted to revisit, as we're about to enter September again, we need to talk about this.
Wow. I mean, if Gold Coast is going to do it, just fully commit.
Yeah,
they were halfway.
Look at Rory here. Look,
they were doing the power stance.
How in were you with that, by the way? Were you all...
Yeah, I was in. I wasn't quite... Daniel Taylor was... You look back and always talk about he had the most, like, really wound up. I'm always pretty relaxed, so I breathe deeply. There is some science behind it, though, which I do love. But Gold Coast, come on, go full in if you want to do it. Don't do the old arms here. Pull them out and give it a crack.
And you've been saying all year when you go through the airport scanners, you do it, don't you?
It reminds me every time I go through the airport scanners and I'm there like this, and I'm like, I'm doing a power stance again.
Hey, TJ, the road to the finals, it's so exciting. We've got the first two, the top four go at it in the first on the Thursday and the Friday night. This path won't mean too much to you at all at the moment, but I reckon it's amazing how often a team goes out in straight sets. So we look at the top four. Often you lose your first, you don't recover, and there's a side that's up and about from 5 to 8 who gets on a bit of a charge. So we'll see who that is. You know, Collingwood, to me, are probably the most vulnerable out of the top four, but many think they'll go to Adelaide and upset them.
Well, they could. They're a high chance. TJ, what do you think? This could be the kiss of Chomp?
I think it was pointless putting that graphic up, to be honest. It's not telling us a whole lot. For the whole box and dice?
Who do you think will get there?
I'm not just saying this because I support Collingwood, all right? Because I don't shout it from the rooftops. Or I'm not one of those people that sort of wants to climb on their bandwagon. But I still have a lot of faith in Collingwood because we know that they're better than what they are at the moment. Having said that, I'm worried about one of your old teams in Geelong.
Perfect. That's a kiss of Chomp. All
right, well, while we're on the Collingwood-Adelaide game, let's have a look at it in detail because this is going to be a fascinating way to kick off the final series.
Yeah, this is last time they met. It was an unbelievable game. It was played by... Collingwood dominated it. I watched this game and I thought they were pretty much flawless, except for a couple of moments late, but they had so many inside 50s. Adelaide's back six stood up incredibly well, and it was a huge game in the context of the season, and this one is as well.
Well, you said flawless. I thought they did a lot right too, Rory, but their ball movement wasn't good, and that's been their problem. So they went inside 71 times for 8 goals. So I don't think, Isaac, they have to go fast and make it a chaotic game because otherwise they just don't have the forwards to take that big mark down the line like you need in a big finals game.
Yeah, they do have the forward line for a finals type game because it is small, it puts pressure on, they want the ball on the ground. I think Bobby Hill being out is a massive out, but if they have the type of inside 50s they had against Adelaide last time, Collingwood win, and I think they win easy. So Adelaide will want to break even in the midfield.
We'll talk about Bobby Hill in a moment, but we were at Collingwood on Friday and you saw Bobby Hill out on the track.
Yeah, he was. He was in the white training Guernsey, TJ, which was different to the starting 23. But look, he's not, by way of all expectation, going to be chosen or up for selection for this first game against the Adelaide Crows. And there's a trust element to this conversation around him from a teammate perspective, just because of what he's been through and the training sessions that he's missed. Now, that's the footy side of it. Obviously, the reason for his absence were personal, and that's the most serious part of it. But he's back. I think that's important. And the runway with the week off, it allowed him an extra week of training. He has attended. We'll cross to Jess Webster in a moment to see if there's any up to the minute updates on him. But the loss of Jeremy Howe, though, it's so crucial to what they're about to enter.
Yeah, absolutely. McCreary is a big one too. Like, if they're going to be solid in that,
he'll be right.
Yeah,
Tell us about the corridor, Corey.
Yeah, well, so you boys spoke about the corridor ball movement just before, but they did get the first quarter right when it was dry. They did look to use it. They had lots of numbers in there. And if you look at the way they moved the ball, they had runners, Llordo. I know you're big on this too, but they lowered their eyes against Adelaide's back six, and they're able to get some really good looks going inside forward 50 when it was dry.
Yeah, when it was dry, I think the one thing you can highlight out of this vision is that when they're moving it like that, the Adelaide defenders are facing the Collingwood goals there. So as a defence, you want to be facing forward and being able to press. And you see in these bits of vision, Adelaide are folding back, and that's where Collingwood are most dangerous. And that's where they get teams on the hot when they can move the ball like this.
Yeah, and that sort of movement there, it's not perfect. It's that imperfect football where they just want to rush you and get the ball moving forward. So they're going to have to play like that.
After quarter time, they didn't move the ball like that. And that's why the Adelaide Crows won, conceding 71 entries. And this is where I look at it, and I don't see a Riley Thilthorpe. I just don't see the big player that can get them home if it's slow ball movement, like Weddle and Keane and these guys. They just kept repelling and repelling. Like McStay, there was talk during the week, Damo, that Mason Cox was in a different jumper, a black jumper. Yep. And so the thought is, do they
bring him in?
I would, TJ.
Played well against Crows a couple of times.
So Howe out officially from that last game into Cox in and McStay to go back.
Potentially go back, and that's a lot of change, and that's where a lot of clubs go, you know what, we've got to top four with this. So bringing Mason is a big call because he's been out for so long, but he was in the ones jumper during the week as well, which could be a sign that he could be a change.
Well, the beauty for Collingwood is that they can take a risk. They've got the second chance.
Yeah.
So although you're putting all your chips in to win it, you also think, let's have a quick look at this, because if we need to use it next week or in the prelim final, we can.
Alrighty, and as Damo said, we'll be crossing out to our very own Jess Webster, who's at Collingwood training this morning, and also we'll be catching up with Lachie Schultz to have a chat with him too prior to Thursday night's big one. Friday night at the MCG, it is Geelong up against the reigning premiers in Brisbane, and for some reason, Max Holmes is the one everyone's talking about.
Yeah, and I wanted to bring him up from the start because I think he's Geelong's most important player, and he has missed out on premiership glory, hasn't he? Yeah, with that heartbreak with his hamstring.
I think he missed out, unfortunately, too, on an All-Australian selection during the week, Llordo.
Yeah. So I want to ask you, Isaac.
Yeah.
Dunkley often has the shutdown role. Has he got the ability to run or go with someone like Max Holmes?
No, Dunkley has no ability to go with Max Holmes once the ball's out in space, but he can get to him in contest and in stoppage, and that's where Dunkley does his best work. But I'm with you, Damo. I thought he was the unluckiest bloke not to be in the All-Australian team. To me, he's been Geelong's best player this year, their most important player, and a lot of it will come down Friday night to what Max Holmes can do.
They do release Max Holmes off the back of the stoppage too, so they bring some other bigger bodies in and just release him to play with that strength. So it is a great way he plays.
You mentioned the All-Australian. Hopefully Jeremy Cameron his shock has subsided somewhat. He's going to be on song as well.
I actually don't mind how the AFL do it, though, and they make a captain not necessarily your captain. The All-Australian team is something special to be involved in, and Jeremy Cameron would be interesting because he's played against Leicester a few times, and Leicester's gone okay against him. I know traditionally Tom Hawkins used to play very well against Brisbane, and they used to isolate him with Harris Andrews and get him on the lead-up. So I'm looking for a big game with Shannon Neal, and maybe Jezza will play a little bit of a different role higher up the ground. But it's going to be fascinating to see, and if Jeremy Cameron gets a hold of Brisbane, it's going to be hard for them, but Brisbane have a very good record.
They do, and a lot of these moments and these matches even will be determined by availability of key players, and from a Lions perspective, getting Lachie Neal back in is going to be so crucial. This is Jared Berry, who was injured in this game against the Dockers. Now, the shoulder popped out there, and they left him out of the game against Hawthorn, basically on a risk versus reward scenario, Llordo. They thought they'd just try and get him to recover as best he can. The week off after round 24 has given him another week. full expectation now that he does come back into the team, and just some other positivity around the Lions from an injury perspective. Oscar McInerney got through a game yesterday in the VFL and was really good. Connor McKenna, first game back from injury as well, 4 goals in that VFL game, and he's available for selection. Whether he gets chosen is another matter, and Eric Hipwood's still 2 to 3 weeks away. It might be a prelim final return for him if it all goes well from here, Rory.
Big for you, Eric Hipwood, TJ. Hopefully he can return. Hey, I just wanted to take you back. Like, the Brisbane have had a great record against Geelong the last 3 outings, but Brisbane played with a 3-second rule when they got the ball in hand. They just want to get it moving. But this is so important. If we'll pause here in a second, it's so important against Geelong, who want to fold back in numbers with their defence, to lower your eyes and hit these little lead-up kicks, because this allows you to get a deeper entry. And you look again, Tommy Stewart pushing back towards goal. Their backs rely on that ball going in long and strong. So if you can keep that ball nice and low and hit up on them, you're much better off. What'll work on the MCG is making the ground really big. So they'll look to use this type of ball movement too, where they want to access the open side of the ground, because that's where the space is. But again, hit that short one. If you can hit that short one against Geelong, you can get over the back of them and you can expose their back 6. And the last one I wanted to show you here is this is a really important moment from a centre clearance. Geelong win this. They send it inside forward 50. As Geelong players, you've got a number off if you can't go and impact that contest. Because that contest gets done, Brisbane turn it over, and if you haven't numbered off and you haven't started thinking about defence, you're already outnumbered, and Brisbane chain this one out. And again, when you get open looks like that, they can lower their eyes to their forwards, and that's how they exposed them last time, and that's why they play so well against them too, Isaac.
And Damo, you talked about the injuries and which team's going to have their big guns. I think if every team gets their big guns back, Brisbane are the team to beat. They're the best team in it when they get everyone. But I want to talk about their young guns. You got the 2 Ashcrofts, you got Wilmot, and I reckon, Nelly, the best of all of them is Jasper Fletcher. I think he's an absolute star, the way he plays the game and what he's doing for Brisbane at the moment. But to me, if Brisbane are going to win it, it's going to be because of these young players they've got in the side. We know what their stars can do, but these are the guys that have driven them all year, and I just love what they're doing on the field for them.
And even Sam Marshall in recent weeks coming in and looking absolutely at home.
We did a lunch on Friday and you made the comment that whoever wins that match at the MCG on Friday night will be outright premiership favourites.
Yeah, I think they will be outright premiership favourites. For Brisbane, they did it last year. I love what their makeup is and I love how they're playing. And for Geelong, they've had a pretty good run in, have no injuries. They'll play every game at the G if they beat Brisbane, which I think gives them premiership favouritism.
Hawthorn GWS on Saturday afternoon, and will the Hawks, would they be tempted to spring a surprise?
I feel they have to be, TJ, on the back of what Josh Weddle did yesterday in the VFL. First game of any football of any sort since round 16 when he suffered a back injury. They were conservative in how they were going to deal with this rehab. They got him back. They just very carefully ticked off all the medical boxes. The fact he got through the back half of that game yesterday, 12 disposals. He was rusty, Llordo, but only Will Day now is on that injury list of any significance for the Hawks. I think the fact he's got through this game yesterday, just played the half of footy, I think it's worth a risk bringing him straight back. Yeah, he's so crucial.
You wonder with only giving him a half whether that is just they wanted a certain amount of minutes to bring him back into the team. The only worry I have for Hawthorn, I like their back line. I think the midfield's going much better, is the reliance on Jack Gunston. They're on paper, it looks all good, but look at those numbers in the last month. So Gunston's kicked 18. Chol could have a good quarter and then he goes missing for the rest of it. Lewis's body still is coming to terms with AFL footy with how much he's missed. And Deer's just a young, precocious talent who's having moments. So that is probably the only issue I have, the reliance. Like Gunston, it's the biggest surprise of the season, what he's done, but the others need to improve.
Damo, Llordo made the mention then that, it looks great on paper. The Giants look awesome on paper, but they look a hell of a lot better when Jesse Hogan's part of it.
Yeah, and the foot injury that he has suffered and has really adversely affected him in the back half of this season, it's still in play. But there's been a change in the narrative that I'm hearing anyway, TJ, and that he's going to be up to his eyeballs in a chance of playing in this game. And that's a big move from what it was even 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's the same foot that he suffered the navicular problem on, but it's going to be his call, I believe, to make. And I think he's leaning toward doing that. Jake Stringer should come back in as well off a hamstring. And then they've got a decision to make about Jack Buckley, and I don't yet have a read on his availability for this game, given the soft tissues he's had.
Lachie Daniels?
Brent
Daniels, sorry.
Brent Daniels got through a VFL game, got through well. I'd be staggered if he's not in this team. Yeah.
Is it risky, Llordo, to bring two pigs back in? Because their forward lines look quite good with a bit more pressure.
Yeah,
no, they don't.
I think that I don't want bringing in more than one, even at a lower level. Like if you're taking too many underdone players, I think it's a bit of a risk you can take.
If they have faith in Stringer's hamstring, he's fit. Hogan's the problem with the foot.
Yeah.
But as I said, I'm leaning to. I think he's leaning toward playing.
All right, what about Freo and Gold Coast? Foreign territory for Gold Coast. I'm not talking about playing in the West, but I'm talking about September.
Yeah, and I think Ben King is critical. So Rowell and Anderson and these guys are sensational. But Alex Pearce played one of the great games, and I've frozen a few bits of play where he played Darcy better than anyone's played him all year. He just keeps hitting him at the right time, and that's been where Darcy will have to be looked after over the next few years. He doesn't get injuries by being tunnelled or being pushed under it, but it was a masterclass. Whereas I know this was like a training drill. Poor Jaden Laverty in the space that's gone in, but Freo are as defensively sound as any team in the competition. And I think if you can keep King to, I don't know, two or under, I'm not sure they can kick a winning score. So that Pearce-King matchup is critical.
They need midfield goals, Gold Coast, it feels like. So you can have King, but if you can get your midfielders and maybe a Rioli off half-back kicking a couple of goals as well. But it feels like where Gold Coast score is going to come from.
Yeah.
All right, so just before we move on, give us your 4 winners for this week.
4 winners. Adelaide, Geelong, GWS and Fremantle.
Adelaide, Hawthorn, Brisbane, Freo.
Adelaide, Brisbane, Hawthorn, Freo.
Adelaide, Brisbane, Hawthorn, Freo.
Right, okay, exactly the same. Snap. All righty, Zac Bailey will be joining us a little later on. Lachie Schultz, as I say. Also, we'll be heading out to Jess Webster. She's at Collingwood training. Looking forward to see just what the Pies are up to and what colour vest Big Mason might actually be wearing. And all St Kilda handball too a little later on with Louis Handball. And as I said in the introduction, a double deep dive from Llordo today. What numbers are we up to?
7 and 6.
Oh, they'd be very proud, wouldn't they?
Oh, big egos coming.
Speaking of which, this is an opportunity to prick a few egos. It is time for What Caught My Eye, and Damo, the king of comedy, is going to kick us off.
TJ, in the finance world, they refer to blue chip stocks, and in the footy world, we've got our own blue chip stock person. I'm referring to Matthew Lloyd, and it's a really good time to buy Llordo now because he tried to launch a T-shirt a couple of weeks ago. And it's a very good T-shirt. We've seen it. $70 initially. It's now clearing for $49. Good time to buy the Llordo T-shirt. That's Exhibit A. Exhibit B, good time to listen and hear Llordo speak at functions because this was a famous Essendon captains. You can see the price there. Initially $49, but if you just waited a little bit, down to $27.98. It's a good time to buy our man. Get on. I've heard his grand final week diary's a little bit open, so get on to our man.
I blame the current player, Zach Merritt. When you lose 13 games in a row,
what more war can you do?
Where you
Bad press for Bad press for shit.
Come on, Zach.
Come on, Zach. Give us something. Win a game. Please.
All right. Speaking of just sort of scraping a little bit off the top, you played in the Legends game on Thursday night.
Yep.
Right. Now, look, well done, first of all. It was for a great... What the hell was going on here, Isaac? What happened there?
Oh, just missed. I was a little bit rusty. Talking about Josh Weddle not coming back and being a little bit rusty yesterday. There was a couple of moments where your mind still thinks you can do things, but the actual ability to get it done isn't there, TJ.
Well, you're in good company, all right, because it doesn't matter how big a name you are in the industry.
No.
Don't go, Eddie.
I've got a banned from showing that.
Have you done this because he's overseas at the moment?
Is he overseas?
He's in Mexico at the moment, yeah.
Oh, yeah. What are you suggesting?
Well, that you're petrified of him.
He will still be tuned in.
I'm about as petrified of Eddie as I am of Nathan.
He doesn't miss anything.
No, well,
your phone will buzz in a minute.
Yes.
Yeah, it will, but I want to get on to Nick Lachie, and he's back to his old antics here. We had him on Triple M on the rush hour at Damo, and he's absolutely nailed this again.
Yeah. JB, I would have to pull you up a little bit. I just don't think that's fair to bring it up on air like that unprovoked. I do love the rush hour, but what's my show called again? The Rub. The Rub, it doesn't quite compare to the Rub.
But I think that, and I believe that Nick Lachie should be paying royalties to someone else.
I think we've got an awareness of what it is, TJ. It won't be good.
Well, just yes or no. Don't need to give us... I think we've got an awareness, TJ. So you do tend to draw it out, don't you? If you spoke normal, this would be an hour and a half show. But because you're on the panel, it goes 3 hours. Yeah. So what you do is you say, well, TJ, I think
We're here for 3 hours. You're not upset him in the first 10 minutes.
actually, you dirty up, aren't you?
Should we get to the game?
What about you, Llordo? Just giving them... Just still wind it up. But
Jeez, you dirty up,
TJ,
don't
can
you?
you give us a quick burst?
No.
Come on, just one burst.
No,
The viewers at home, the kids at home want to see it.
Isaac, I just want to, just for a moment, don't get me wrong, I mean, this is all part of it. Sorry.
Oh, look, everyone has their off-air / on-air troubles, and Ben Carroll, the Deputy PM, had his... Premier. Yes, had his on-air troubles at the Legends game. Apologies.
We've got some very good news for you. Have a look at the screen.
150,000 to the Australian Prostate Centre. 1 in 5 men get donated. Sorry, start again.
Ben, fantastic announcement today.
150,000 donation from the Victorian government.
One more, right?
Yeah.
$150,000. Ben, fantastic announcement today.
$150,000 is being donated from the Victorian government.
So it can happen to the best of us. It's live on air, but I just thought I'd bring back probably a best of these kind of moments.
Well, we're out here at the Hoppers Crossing Community Camp.
Thanks, boys. Brady Hoff, thanks for your time. It seemed like we... Sorry, we go again. Sorry, I had you talking to me here. Am I right to just go from the top? Beauty. Thanks, boys. Brady Hoff, thanks for your time.
Tim, the news with Luke Ball, he's definitely out, is he?
Go to your left a little bit. We're going to bring in Alan and the other boy, Mills. Not seeing that straight now in the background. How about the bald spot? Yours or mine? Mine. Yours. Terrific.
We apologise.
Actually, I noticed it. I've been cans for this.
Yes, we do have technical problems. He was checking his hair, I do believe.
Makeup and it's spread now. Oh, well, what did you touch it for? Because it was a big white splodge. You're a big white splodge.
You're a big white splodge. One of my favourite lines of all time, Tim.
It's a great time of year for luncheons and functions, and we're all part of it, all of us. And TJ, you were doing one last week, which made the press, where you were doing one at Marvel Stadium, and the article was around you had to go at Kane Corns, and you had to go at Chris Jones. And I found that really interesting, but not as interesting as the last part, which you're a good friend of mine. I'm concerned for you. The last part really did hurt me to see this. It said Jones, the substitute for Clint Stanaway as MC.
Yeah.
So how come he's...
substitute?
Number 2. Why are you number 2 again?
Well, Jackie Epstein's been trying all year to get me, and she got me with that.
Did she? Yeah. So
as I said, even Scott Pendlebury starts off as the sub, so I don't mind that. No, he fills in for me on things, and I filled in for him.
You're saying he's number 2 again?
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and Stanners has been under you for so long. I'm disappointed for you.
Did you declare that gig to everyone in your world?
I'm sorry,
Did you declare that particular gig to everyone in your world? Unlike that one.
Sorry, what? Did you? Did you declare that one?
Well, were you brave
enough you're trying to draw a wedge on the home front, are you?
Well, you're brave
my
enough to
wife
declare
knows that I did that.
Okay, not the other one, though. Didn't know the other one, though.
Okay. All right, so you're done?
I'm asking you, have you declared it?
Yes, I have.
Okay,
Thank you.
yeah.
What are you, the tax commissioner?
No, you just
couldn't
even say your own wife.
I did. See what you've started?
No, I like it.
There's a Collingwood gig you did between news
Damien,
crosses.
move on. Move on.
And you bought the GoPro with
Friday. Right, let's move on. Jess Webster is out at Collingwood at the moment, where Damien was on Friday as part of a luncheon. Damo...
Which I declared.
Jess, are you there?
I was wondering whether or not you were talking to me or still having a laugh with the boys. But yes, we are here at Collingwood training at the moment. It's a cold and miserable day in Melbourne, but that hasn't stopped the Pies fans coming out in force to support their team. Finals are just around the corner, and there's plenty to keep your eye on too. I have spotted Bobby Hill warming up with the forwards at the moment, doing a light skills session in his bid to be a part of the Pies Premiership campaign. I haven't yet spotted Jeremy Howe out there at the moment, but we're going to have Lachie Schultz on the program a little later on. He's going to give us all the goss from today's open training session, but great to see the Pies fans out here supporting their team. Finals are on our doorstep, TJ. We love this time of year. A massive final coming up against Adelaide next Thursday night.
Absolutely. It's going to be an absolute beauty. We'll look at that, and we'll look at all the matches and also have our special guests. We'll take a break on the Sunday Footy Show, or as Damo would say, we'll take a break and be back with more in just a moment. We are smack bang at the start of the AFL Finals for 2025, and it's shaping up as one of the most open, you'd have to say, in a long time.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, TJ. And Brisbane and Geelong, as Isaac said, is going to dictate, I think, who may well go on and win this AFL Premiership. And one of their superstars is Zac Bailey, and he's been good enough to join us this morning. Zac, firstly, congratulations on the All-Australian honours. Who was it that you looked around and you said, geez, I'm pretty happy to be sharing the stage with this bloke, but congratulations again.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, there was a fair few of them. When I first arrived there, I was sort of standing there with Dunkley, and I started watching all the stars walk through and felt a little bit out of place. But yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah. So, is there anyone as you've come through that you've looked at and said, "I'd love to model myself on that player" as you're coming through the ranks?
Yeah, there was. He actually plays for us, Dane Zorko. Yeah. I model my game a lot on him, and I haven't directly spoken to him and worked with him, but just watching how he goes about his business and how he plays, I've been able to sort of take a lot away from his game and how he's performed over the last 7 or 8 years.
Zac, you certainly don't have to be nervous about that, mate. You fully deserve your spot and you've been a great player for many years. But your record against Geelong wasn't great, but what you've done over the last sort of 12, 18 months has been pretty impressive.
Yeah, it has been. I think, especially this year, we've sort of been thrown a few challenges, and there's been a fair few hoodoos that we've needed to overcome. And the one down in Geelong earlier in the year was an unbelievable win. And I guess our battles over the last probably 4 years in finals have been some pretty good ones. So as a team, we're really looking forward to the week to come.
Zac, as you get ready for this big game, I know these selection decisions are not going to be made by you personally, but what's your gut feel on Lachie Neale coming back after the absence of him from a quad injury, and also Jared Berry, who popped a shoulder a couple of weeks ago, and the club decided to rest and then have the week off after round 24 to again get him right. Neale and Berry, will they both be in this team?
To be honest, I'm not actually too sure, but I think the talk has been that they're going to come back. Lachie Neale coming back is going to be a huge inclusion. We missed him around the ball. He's an unbelievable player, and Jared Berry as well is a massive part of this team on the wing. He's huge for us structurally, so to get him back is going to be really good, and actually hopefully they come back.
And the fact you're able to get through the big moments late in the season without both of them and able to fill the holes in the midfield, yourself included, played I suppose, an increased role there. It just goes to show you do have genuine depth in all levels of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it probably comes from a lot of our younger players. Most of them at the moment are playing like 100-game players. You got Jasper Fletcher, Darcy Wilmot. They've all stepped up as well. So it's sort of good to have those younger blokes step up, and yeah, I guess it's next man up sort of situation. Just watching closely how you play, Zac, it's Rory Sloane here, mate. So it looks like you guys have tremendous amount of belief, especially when sides challenge you like Collingwood have in that previous game. Yeah, absolutely. And as I said before, when we're faced with the challenge, I feel like that's when we play our best footy. And most of our games away are considered pretty big challenges to go away and win. Yeah, is a challenge for most teams. So we really get ourselves up for those games. And yeah, and as I said, as there's a big challenge for the year, we step up.
Zac, I have a great respect for Isaac on my left, for the team that he was a part of, where you go back to back to back, because it's so difficult, because guys get complacent, injuries, teams try and pick you apart with your game plan, all those types of aspects. But has it been discussed much around and that? Because I feel like the bigger the game or the more you guys are challenged, you seem to rise to that occasion, but have dropped games that we'd expect you to win. So how's that been as a challenge this season after being premiers last year?
Yeah, it's always a challenge. I mean, teams are constantly scouting other teams, and when you win the grand final the year before, teams are coming after you. And I think probably in some of those games we haven't gone in as the hunters. We've gone in as the hunted, and we haven't really taken the game on in certain situations. So I think for us it's all around mindset and just making sure we keep getting after teams and yeah, taking the game on. I think that's probably what's helped us, especially as we spoke about before, we've been challenged.
You're speaking about mindset. You kicked far too many points last week, but I heard you had a Ted Lasso mindset to how you deal with this. Goldfish.
Yeah, the goldfish has been spoken about a couple of times this year. It was a bit of a theme, just moving on quickly from our mistakes. We missed it. Yeah, you've shown it now, but we missed a fair few goals. And I think in the past we probably let that affect us, and we've sort of dwelled on those moments. And there's me dwelling on it right there. That's a theme for us. We just want to move on quickly from mistakes and move on to the next thing, because there's no point dwelling on it.
So for those that don't understand goldfish, TJ, you may not understand, goldfish have horrible memories. So it's about moving on as quick as you can.
Right. Okay, thanks, Ranger Rory. It's right up there with your kangaroo.
I should have cleared that up, sorry.
It's common knowledge.
So, there you go, Zac. So, okay. Well, I didn't know that. So, and how would you know how good a memory a goldfish has?
That's a very good question.
I've always wondered that as well. Who works that out, and how do you work that out?
Yeah. And it's like when they say dogs are colourblind. How would you even know? Hey, Zac, are you still there, mate?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, good. Sorry about that. When do you lobby Melbourne?
We get in on Thursday. Thursday. So we'll get in Thursday morning, hopefully do our captain's run on that, and then, get them on Friday.
All right, well, we'll roll out that welcome mat for you. It's not like you haven't been here before. Been here, done that. So you might just be replicating your success of last year. So great to have you on board, Zac. Thanks for your time, mate. Oh,
yeah,
before you go,
we're going to send him off with family pass to Gumbaya World, where water slides, thrill rides and wildlife collide with Ranger Rory. A HitFit membership, combined bodyweight and boxing for a full body workout. You'll be best dressed on the golf course thanks to Clutch & Co. And we'll kit you out in Castar Brad Close clothing brand. Be close, your swing, your style. A box of Chrome Tour golf balls for those that love their golf, and a cap. Thanks to Callaway, Bar Fridges Australia are back for all your beer and wine and cooling needs. Bar Fridges Australia is your one-stop shop. A pair of Aquila premium quality footwear since 1958, and a pair of Rick's eyewear for those with detached retinas or have suffered eye injuries. Eyewear that inspires confidence. TJ loves a free meal, don't you, TJ? At Platform 28, the best pub in the Docklands, and elevate your wardrobe with the latest streetwear style from St. Goliath. 2 pairs of hybrid undies in a mid and long length from Better Collection. They've sewn elastic into the groin line, which is an absolute game changer. Trust me, I've got some. And treat yourself to a batch of Daniel's Donuts. Book a delivery online today. And some caps from Travis Matthew, all for our man Zac Bailey, TJ.
Terrific stuff. Now, you mentioned Platform 28 there. Don't forget, if you're still looking for something to do next Sunday, which is Father's Day, book in to Platform 28. There's a few tables remaining. Just look them up online. Platform28.com.au. But you knew that, Matthew, didn't you?
I did, and hopefully they can recover from the freebie you took from them a few weeks ago.
Listen, will you guys ease up? I mean, I pay for everything. I declare...
You still haven't paid for my suit.
Oh, it's $12.
I know, but that's right.
Mate, you're the richest man in the football media, right?
But still...
No suit for you.
How do you feel about that? Like, no matter what money you've got, if someone pays for your suit, would you pay them back?
Yeah, you always pay them back.
Guilt. I just feel guilty. You've gone on for years and years and years, and as much as I try and shame you, you don't pay.
Mate, call me a goldfish. I've completely okay? Let's head back out to Collingwood now because Jess Webster is there. Jess, what can you tell us? What have you seen so far on this grey old blustery day in Melbourne?
Yes, it's a wet and cold, miserable day, but it's a pretty low-key affair here at Collingwood's open training session. So the boys are just doing some light skills work at the moment. I did see Bo McCreary running some laps behind me a few moments ago, so he seemed to be moving quite freely with that foot complaint. So that's good news for Pies fans. But as I said, they're just doing some light skills work. Haven't seen them break out into any kind of match simulation yet, so haven't seen whether or not the likes of Mason Cox and Bobby Hill are wearing, different coloured shirts to the rest of their teammates. But plenty to keep our eye on out here at the AIA Centre, TJ. But vibes are high. Lots of Pies fans out here really enjoying watching their team go about it ahead of a massive final next week.
OK, so we can see Mason Cox there with the yellow vest. Can we read any... read anything into that?
Yeah, just warming up. But even players have runners. Some have had runners on there, TJ. So it looks like a lighter session this morning, so hard to take anything out of that. Yeah.
All right. Well, Jess is going to wrangle Lachie Schultz for us a little later on, so we'll have a chat to Lachie Schultz as well. So good on you, Jess. Thanks very much for that. All right, we'll take a break. You are watching the Sunday Footy Show, a massive week 1 of finals football. We're previewing it right here on the show.
TJ.
Welcome back to the show. It's great when Nathan's off because I get to play with the quiz. So Damo's here, Rory's here, Matthew's here, and of course Isaac's here as well. Who are you playing for, guys?
Lorraine Buckner, Maiden Gully, Victoria.
Brody McIndo from Portland, Victoria.
Ben Walker from Moama in Victoria.
And Anna Shanahan from Highton, Victoria.
What, all Victorians?
Yeah.
Oh, good to see we're a national competition on a week where every AFL state is represented in the finals. All right, here we go.
What's the theme, TJ?
I beg your pardon?
What's the theme today?
The theme is this year.
Okay.
I'm back in UN.
Good.
Okay?
Get with it.
You
Go.
got the bracelet.
Question one.
With me again, have you?
Just do the quiz.
All right, Who won the very first game of the 2025 season?
Richmond.
Yeah, Gold Coast, wasn't it?
Well, you're wrong.
Renaissance.
Damo?
I'm going to go GWS.
Yes.
You're wrong.
Collingwood.
You're wrong. Rory?
He's already had a go.
I said Gold Coast, yeah.
Okay,
No, their game got cancelled.
Well, it was a trick question, I tell you, because it was Hawthorn defeating Sydney. Remember those other games were cancelled?
Yep.
And so the SCG became the first one. Famous Faces question. Which Richmond player had a wardrobe malfunction in their debut win against the Blues?
Renaissance.
Yep.
Lawler.
First name?
Sam.
Okay, correct. All right, so these are our famous faces. All have had an influence of some way, shape or form in season 25.
I'll go my man Jezza.
Jezza down the bottom here. How well do you like him?
Maybe not well enough.
Plus.
Jeremy.
Money follows money, my friend. All right, who won this year's Anzac Day medal?
Still side.
Correct. Well done to you. Can we just test the buzzers? Because I don't know who gets in and who doesn't. Damo, what's yours? Right, yours?
Go!
Yours?
Few cash jobs.
Renaissance.
Right, okay, good. All right, we got it now. Which Collingwood player was the talking point of an AFL controversy in round 9 against Fremantle? This is a famous
cash jobs.
question.
Lachie Schultz.
Lachie Schultz, that's right. Just refresh our memories.
He got knocked out and the umpires didn't stop the game.
Okay, terrific. All right, so, well, not so much terrific for Lachie, but anyway, who do you want?
I'll go Travis Boak, top.
Travis Boak.
Oh, no.
How well do you like Travis?
I love Travis.
Well, he doesn't love you. Okay. Right, next question. The most goals kicked in a game this year was 11. Who did it?
Jezza.
I went first.
No, Rory got in first.
Jezza?
Yes, quite correct.
Yep.
Is there something wrong with the buzzers?
Didn't seem to work.
Right, okay. All right, well, I'll be line judge on that, though. All right, another famous faces question here. Harry Sheasel equalled the... Yeah?
Tom Mitchell with 54. 54.
That's incorrect. Do you want me to finish the question?
Yeah, for the rest of us, yeah.
Harry Sheasel equalled the AFL record with 54 touches earlier this month. Who had 49 disposals earlier in the year against Essendon?
Bailey Dale.
Correct.
Yeah. These aren't. We'll just have to call out our name.
Just call out your call.
Yeah, just call out
Same
your name. That is also a famous faces question.
I'll go Nasaya.
Dangerous.
Oh, no.
Dangerous.
Nah, -3.
Sorry, Isaac.
Righto, so a score check now. Damo -2, Rory 1, Llordo 1, Isaac is back on 2. Okay, West Coast had one win this season. Who was it against?
Llordo, St Kilda.
St Kilda, quite right. Okay, famous...
Actually,
I almost need to take a point off you for stuffing your name up. You got it wrong. This is really hard because I left my glasses at home today, so I've had to steal some from one of the desks in the newsroom.
Violin. Like.
No, but they're as thick as the glass that Justin Lepich threw at you, I think.
Right.
Well, he admitted that on Friday, didn't he?
Next question, please.
Okay.
It was empty, though.
Right. Which Fremantle player kicked 4 goals in a quarter in their debut against Geelong?
Murphy Reid.
Murphy Reid is quite correct.
You didn't yell out your name.
I know.
Murphy.
I forgot my name.
That was a famous faces question.
Let's go with.
Reserve a negative for this.
Let's go with Nat 5.
Nat 5.
Down the bottom, Teach.
There you go.
+1.
Last one. Score check. Damo on 1. Rory on 1. Llordo 2. Isaac 2. Damo, maybe you were -1. Now you're back to 0.
Are we calling or hitting?
What are we doing? Are we hitting or calling?
Are we calling names?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's no other way to do it.
All right.
All right. 5 matches is the biggest on-field suspension this season. Who was the culprit?
Isaac.
Yes.
Tom Lynch.
How confident are you of that?
Yes.
Very confident.
Yep.
So you should be. Tom Lynch is right, mate. Well done.
Well done.
Okay, now we're up to James. Who am I? Yeah, I think it's who am I. All right, who am I? Who am I? Oh, the first question is, I have played in a grand final for 5 points. For 4 points, I am at my second club.
Isaac.
Yes, Isaac?
Jeremy Cameron.
Incorrect.
Damo.
Damo.
Josh Dunkley.
Incorrect. My kicking has been a hot topic at times this season for 3 points.
Rory.
Rory?
Danger.
Incorrect. For 2 points.
I needed that to win.
I have to go here.
You got to go,
For
Llordo.
2 points, Llordo, you're going to get this.
Oh.
I started my career at the Bulldogs.
Oh, it's close.
Ooh.
Nah, no good.
No, okay. Andrew Dillon came to visit me at my house.
Yes.
Bailey Smith is the answer. So our winner for today is Isaac. And who?
Do I get 1 point for that? Because I said Bailey Smith.
Oh, after the time it expired.
Yeah.
And we're now on 3.
No, sorry, the time expired.
Still didn't win, mate.
On the last.
Anyway, Anna Shanahan, well done out of Hawthorn.
I didn't answer the 2, but I answered the 1.
James, can you
You're not competitive, are you?
I am.
but you were pondering for 5 minutes.
The quizmaster said you lost.
No, but you lost.
He's got a
Is that a
point.
fair point?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, but what?
Well
why
done,
has
Anna.
he got a point?
Good
Because
stuff.
you asked a 2 point and I couldn't answer it, but I could
Let it
have
go,
Yeah,
Llordo.
but that
Let
means
it go.
you're out.
Sorry,
You're
Benny.
eliminated.
Move on, Llordo.
Sorry, Benny. Sorry.
You're eliminated.
I reckon I'll put it on you. We need Brownie back.
Oh, really?
Well,
Just because you
buzzers
lost.
don't even work when you...
Hey, I'm not the technical director. Isaac, who are you playing for?
I was paying for Anna Shanahan out of Highton, Geelong in Victoria.
All right, terrific stuff. Winners are grinners, losers can please themselves, Matthew. We'll take a break. You are watching the Sunday Footy Show. Well done, Isaac.
I won.
But I'm the winner.
You're watching the Sunday Footy Show as we continue our preview to week 1 of the finals. And as I said earlier, so open this final series and so many matches that sort of stand on their own merit in many ways, including this one, GWS and Hawthorn.
And you've got an interesting stat, have you, at this NG Stadium, Isaac?
Oh, and yeah, well, Hawthorn have played 8 games at NG Stadium and I was a part of a hell of a lot of them. And they're 0-8 at NG Stadium. So that's the big one for Hawthorn. And I reckon it'll get brought up this week. They would have done a lot of homework into how to play the game.
Got a theory?
But they haven't. GWS were always very good when we went there. But no, we just didn't play the ground the way it should be played. I reckon we got caught too far on the wings. It can get wide there at the showground. You need to play through the centre.
James Sicily is someone who I think, since he had a spell, I don't know if it was a mental, it was injury.
He was injured, Llordo, yeah.
Yeah.
He had a real hip problem that the club didn't want to go public with until they had to.
Yeah, and he was sort of biting off more than he could chew with his kicks, and he's just come back, the James Sicily we know and love, and that's been a big difference for him.
His power's back, and that's what you need him for. As soon as your power goes, you're a step off, you can't read the play as well, but as we've seen the last few weeks, he's been intercepting well, the pressure's been on upfield, but the way he's used the ball off half-back, set up, their ball movement.
I don't reckon Giants have been great in terms of very inconsistent, so that you don't know what you're going to get, and even their last win against St Kilda, they had to fight and scrap right till the end to beat them. So I think their lack of consistency has been a problem.
But that's been a problem for nearly every finalist this year, hasn't it? I mean, maybe with the exception of Adelaide, maybe, but most of the finalists have been inconsistent at some stage.
And it comes from their midfield, GWS. When their midfield fires, they're, if not the best team in the comp, one of. But when it doesn't, they look in all sorts.
If they pressure, they have to get their pressure right, that Giants midfield. If not, they get exposed out the back.
And Finn Callaghan, the key, TJ, for me, the Giants. You've got to shut him down some way. I don't know if the Hawks have a lockdown, shutdown.
John Newcombe to do almost a run with, expose him
Connor
the
Nash,
other way. Yeah.
All right, Fremantle and Gold Coast. Gold Coast, terrific scenes in the rooms afterwards once they clinched it for the first time ever. But now they've got to back it up in the West against a side who has shown some real capabilities this year.
Well, it's a fascinating game because both sides don't have a hell of a lot of final experience, Tony. So you have a look here. Michael Walters, he's retired. Nat Fyfe, will he play? Will he be sub? Shai Bolton's the one. He's had 8 and won big grand finals. And then you got Aish, who probably won't play. And then you go over to the Suns. Rioli, the same as Shai Bolton with Richmond. He's got 13, Noble 7, Ben Long 1. So it's going to be fascinating to see the mindset of these two teams and how do they approach the first quarter of the game.
When you factor that in, and having lived it at 2 footy clubs, which team presents better for this game anyway in a finals type of style?
Well, to me, I look at Freo, and you look at their side on paper, and paper doesn't necessarily do anything, Llordo, in a big game, but they look like they've got the pieces all over the ground. And we touched on Gold Coast forward line, and that's going to be the watch, I reckon. Can Gold Coast forward line fire in this game? Freo obviously have the home final as well, so they got the advantage there, but it'll be a fascinating watch, and it'll be all above the shoulders for these two teams, and whichever one can get it right will win the game.
What will show up, Llordo, if a team's not as experienced? What will be the first thing to show up when we're watching it?
The first, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, and I think it's a fantastic graphic that then you come to think of 60,000 screaming fans at Optus Stadium, and the advantage that gives you when you're two young sides going into it.
All right, cannot wait for that. As I said, each and every one of those 4 games, just one out of the box, potentially. We'll take a break. When we come back, the first of Llordo's double deep dive for today.
I've been looking forward to this deep dive for a long time. James Hird, he's the man I respected most at the Essendon Football Club. The day I walked in there, I saw he was the hardest trainer, the most competitive, and then he had the skills to match. So not many are brutally tough, but also as skillful as James Hird. So doesn't play as many games as some of the others due to his navicular fractures that he had in his feet. But 2 premierships, Brownlow, Norm Smith, 5 All-Australians, 5 best and fairest, Australian Hall of Fame. I'm sure will be a legend one day with the career he has put together. But his grandfather played for the Bombers, his father played, and Sheeds was massive on the history. So he wasn't touted as a junior. He wasn't a star junior player, but he did it through work rate and wanting to make it. So there he is, wearing the number 49. Sheeds called him the night before to say, we've got an injury, you're going to be debuting against the St Kilda Football Club the next day. And signs were there right from the start that James Hird, he was one of our best runners, so he was top 3 runner. And so he had that ability to just run all day. So he was a real tough matchup because he was such a good mark above his head, but so good at ground level, teams just did not know who to play on him.
He was the complete package, wasn't he, Llordo? And no one knows that better than you do. But he could mark it. He could also play as a ruck rover. So he had the versatility. And as we'll see here, it's both sides of the body as well in key moments, and the ability to play effectively as a centre-half forward if he needed to, and equally he could play a whole game as a ruck rover, kick crucial goals from long range, seize moments, use it as well as anyone over could, Llordo. And the fact that he was able to weight his kick so well too, be that to a teammate all through the goal scoring.
There's one goal he kicked, it was from the boundary, and I remember watching his ball drop, and he angled the ball drop, made it work left to right. He was just such a smart footballer, and how he dropped the ball and how he figured out how to best kick the footy.
And even that, deciding to kick a barrel on the run with a wet ball, just the one touch there, the one step. Goal there, there's nothing you couldn't do.
And what you can't measure here is mental toughness. And the bigger the game, the more he stood up. And he would make you want to run through a brick wall. Like, he was so inspiring pre-game. So his mental toughness set him apart from everyone as well.
Well, and not only that, he was one of the most courageous players I think I watched growing up. And he just put his head over the ball countless times. He'd run back with the flight like we're seeing here and take those iconic chest marks. But he was tough. He played the game the right way. He was skillful. He marked the ball, as you mentioned before. But his ability just to crash into a pack and have
was it crazy toughness at times?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. No regard for his health.
Why would you go for that even?
Well, because he timed it well, and it was the old theory, like the harder in you go, the smarter in you go, and this is why you have
look at he's wearing a head mask there,
First game back, he's doing that. Mind you, I'd done my finger and I did that first game back.
I'm not on here much, but you always just sneak your way into one of them, don't you? That is absolutely brilliant.
The timing of that was just impeccable.
It was, and I guess one thing you didn't do, Llordo, was win a Brownlow medal, and Hird did that famous. He won that famous Brownlow medal with Voss when McKernan was ineligible.
1996.
It's probably one of the most talked about Brownlow medals, Damo.
Yeah, it was. It was a great count, and those two superstars, Voss had been there before, obviously with the high-end nature of his game, and to have those two young guns who were the then leaders of their footy club at young ages, he was a great count.
His hair's never changed.
And it's still the exact same. Does he have Scottish heritage? Was that the inspiration behind the suit? Or?
No, you're giving him too much credit there.
Yeah, I think it's just a fashion statement, albeit a bad fashion statement. But anyway, it was a fashion statement. Hey, you talk about the resilience of him and the fact that he did play through that foot injury, and those foot injuries plagued him basically from that period, 97, 98, 99. And such was the debilitating nature of that. You see Dr. Bruce Reid there. He only put together 22 games in that 3-year period. And we're talking about a guy who also had those bad facial injuries. This one against Freo in 2002. That was really nasty. That was a horrible incident there, you can see, and hence the face mask that we saw a little earlier. But we're still talking about a guy in the prime of his career. I mean, he was only like 24, 25, 26 years of age. But we certainly saw the best of him, there's no doubt about that. And the best was always better than most, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, TJ, yeah. He was so courageous in it, that ability to come back. So full credit to John Quinn, who may be watching, who helped Hurdy get back from those navicular fractures. Yeah, big game player. He won for about 4 or 5 Anzac Day medals and also a Norm Smith. So when he made you feel comfortable running down the race behind him because you just knew he was a big game player. So kicked the first goal for us, really eased the nerves for us. Melbourne were pressing at this stage. He goes back and kicks another goal. So we just gave him the goal square on this day because he was such a tricky matchup for Alistair Nicholson, the Phoebe brothers. They just couldn't really go with him.
And the sense of fate for this game, Llordo, in that you had such a fantastic season of footy, and coming off the heartache of '99, you were part of it, but no one led the way more than him, having held those injuries that TJ just referred to, and then to crown the moment with the best on ground himself in that game. It was effectively the capping, wasn't it, of what he was about?
Yeah, after '99, he wasn't going to let us lose the next year either.
Yeah. He was outspoken at times off the field, and he still is on Footy Classified on Tuesday nights. While he was at the peak of his powers, 2004, used the platform of the Thursday Footy Show to make some really, really provocative comments about a field umpire.
Well, Sheeds is obviously not happy the way the umpires are umpiring. It's probably, you know, that's all he can say. He can't say too much.
Well, what about you?
What about me? I thought the umpiring was actually quite disgraceful on Saturday night.
How low?
There were some instances, especially by one umpire, there were some instances that were that we thought were a bit rich, and you know, we're not sure where he's coming from. The one umpire, we've had problems with him over the past, and
you might as well name him, seeing as you've gone that far.
Well, Scott McLaren hasn't been our favourite umpire. At the moment, there's a feeling at Essendon that you know, he's not doing the right thing by us, and hopefully the club and he can come to some arrangement where you know, the umpiring is a bit better.
In a media sense, Llordo, did the world nearly end the very next day, and for maybe 3 weeks after it, he was rightly pulled through the ringer by the AFL for sanctioning out of all of that, because you cannot be saying.
Did he get fined 20,000 for that?
I think it might have been. Was it more than?
What would have been plus?
I'd imagine 6 weeks. 6 weeks of suspension now, I'd imagine.
Well, let's get back to the footy, because that's where he did most of his talking, Damo. And in 2004, he kicked the game winner against West Coast. But what I love most about this game is that Llordo slipped this in, and Hurd had 34, kicked 3, was absolutely brilliant. Llordo ended up with the 3 Brownlow votes.
What'd you kick, Llordo? Tell us.
Kicked 8.
Off an injury as well, probably, most likely.
This was the moment. He seized the moment, and that hugging the fan, they'll go down in history as one of the most wonderful moments. As I said, big game player.
How did he not get 3 for that game?
Well, it's easy to get touches and kick 8, Dave. I will say.
Well, he wasn't best on, was he?
It's one of the great games of all time.
People, there's a lot of stats in footy. No, I'm only saying, Hurdy's were genuine stats, and we do love taking the mickey out of each other, and I've got no doubt he's stitched me up in this video he's given us.
G'day, Lloydie. Thank you very much for including me in your top 30 players that you've seen in your time. Number 7, which is a huge honour, I really appreciate it. Considering that of your 926 goals that you kicked, probably 700 of those were from my passes that were lace out. It's probably the least you could have done, but really appreciate it. And guys at the Sunday Footy Show, it's great to see you've worked out what Lloydie really is. He loved having his top off around the Essendon Football Club during summer and even during winter. So it was great to see the footy Essendon Bomber magazine come out and some of those photos of Lloydie's magnificent statuesque figure. If you need any more photos, just give me a yell. I might have some more. And of Lloydie, his top off was quite a regular around the Essendon change rooms in the late 90s, early 2000s. But really appreciate it, mate, and can't wait to see you soon.
He's a good man, but I'll stitch him back up. Gary O'Donnell reckons that the 93 premiership, he had a few too many beers. He thought he was carrying the premiership cup, but he had Hurdy by the ears on it. Well done, Hurdy. Great celebration.
Oh, yes. He's been on today.
Oh,
you've been sitting on that for a while.
Can you go out more often? I mean, just for the folks at home, Llordo went out on Friday, and I think he's still a bit mollied up. But anyway, well done, mate. That's fantastic. And of course, later on, you're going to have the second of your instalments for today.
Another legend of the game.
All right, terrific stuff. Well, you are watching the Matthew Lloyd Show on a Sunday morning. More of it to come right after this. It is the Sunday Footy Show, and of course, week one of the finals looming large, as is the first of week one of the finals, Adelaide and Collingwood. Can't wait to come over to your place, Rory, on Thursday
You're all welcome. Come on over. It's going to be huge. Adelaide's a buzz at the moment. It's such a big game, but I'm glad we've got Lachie Schultz on the other side because I want to ask him all about this game coming up.
I'll do it.
Yeah, Lachie, welcome, mate.
Hey, boys. Thanks for having me.
No worries at all. Welcome. Hey, how's training been today, and what did you learn last time from playing the Adelaide Crows?
Yeah, it was a good session today. Just a little run around, get the body moving again. We'll have our main session in a couple of days' time and really crack down on the Crows. And, yeah, we obviously learned a little bit last time we played them. It's good playing a team 2 weeks before you play them again in the finals. So, we had a crack at them last time and we get to do that again this week. So looking forward to that. Obviously learn a bit out of that. We feel like we controlled big parts of that game but weren't able to get the result on the scoreboard. So hopefully this week we can turn that around.
Yeah, the ball movement you started off in that first quarter was absolutely electric, and I think that's the picture of what I think of how you got to play Adelaide Crows. So did you hone in on that first quarter at all?
Yeah, absolutely. The way we moved that ball in that first quarter was it's great way to play the game, and the way we were able to sort of change lanes and shift their defence and attack them at speed and enter the forward 50 from sort of any part of the arc was electrifying, and we got score on the board as well. And going forward, I think that's going to hold us in really good stead, especially this week.
Hey, look, I'm a big fan of yours because I'd pick you just purely on pressure, so everything else is a bonus with what you bring. But you've had a lot of challenges, a lot of scrutiny coming over from the Fremantle Dockers, and Collingwood play a brand of football that is very, very different with how role-based and structured-based. I know you would have been asked this 1,000 times over, but I haven't heard you personally talk about it. So the challenges of coming to play for Collingwood, where the roles, it's so role-based compared to maybe the Fremantle setup you're in?
Yeah, absolutely. There's always challenges with going to a new footy team, and that you always go through a bit of a teething process. And obviously last year I was put under the microscope a fair bit and caught my fair whack, which was probably fair at times, but at the same time I think that's just part of the business and the industry we're in. I wasn't happy with my year, but yeah, as we said, it's about sort of learning the new roles and learning the new team and making connections on the field with teammates and the rest of it. But I think one thing that I can control is my pressure and my effort, and that's going to sort of hold me in good stead with the rest of my game. And as you said, sort of if I can just get my pressure out there, I think the rest will flow from that.
Look, we've seen vision this morning of your training session, of Bobby Hill being part of the group. I know he trained on Friday as well. Have you made a decision formally about his availability for this week? And if he isn't back in the team this week, is he a potential chance for either week 2 or 3?
Yeah, I'm not too sure, to be honest. It's awesome to see him back at the club, back with a smile on his face, and that's what's most important for us. We just want to see him happy, up and about, bringing energy, and he's a really infectious character when he's around the group, and to have him back within the club and training with us just brightens the rest of us and lifts the rest of the group. So I guess he's going through a bit of a conditioning block now with the strength and conditioning staff, and then yeah, what's in store for him for the next week or next couple of weeks, who knows.
Lachie, it's no secret there's a fair degree of ill feeling between these two clubs, generated more so, I guess, sometimes from over the other side of the fence. Are you, as a group, bracing for an even greater hostile reception this time?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's always hostile when you go over to Adelaide, and and being a final is probably going to add to it again. So I'm excited for the opportunity and the hostility of it. I think it only makes the spectacle of the game better, and something that we can really thrive off as a team, and we can sort of gather our own energy from, and I think the rest of the boys are looking forward to. Someone like Bruzzy will definitely be thriving off it. So, yeah, it should be exciting.
Good luck, Lachie. It's going to be a massive game. But while you've been talking, Llordo's been trying to scan the QR code that's at the bottom there. If you could just shuffle to your right a little bit, I think he wants to jump in the mega draw.
Tell us about
Make
that.
sure you get a ticket. Sorry, what was that?
Tell us about the Magpie mega draw there. $25 a ticket, over $200,000 in prizes.
Yeah, so $25 a ticket. Yeah, obviously over 200k in prizes. Some really good prizes there. We've got the KGM car and the Crusader Caravan. My favourite, personally, the TaylorMade golf clubs. But yeah, some really, really good prizes. I'll be buying a ticket for sure.
All right, terrific stuff. At only $25, you've got to be in it to win it, as you will be on Thursday night. Lock, great to talk to you, mate, and we'll do it again soon, hopefully.
Sounds good. Thanks heaps for having me, boys.
Anytime at all. Lachie Schultz joining us there from the Collingwood Football Club. We'll take a break. More in just a moment. Footy Classified very much setting the agenda Monday and Tuesday night. Damo's there on a Monday night along with Llordo. And then, of course, on a Tuesday night, Eddie is back from overseas. Tom Morris is there. Look at that hair, looking very thick at the moment. And, of course, that band, Messiah Wanganeen Millera, will be here in the studio on Tuesday night as special guest alongside James Hird, Tom Morris, Eddie Maguire and you, Rory.
Yeah, I'll be a bit starstruck on Tuesday. I love Messiah.
Yeah.
I love him.
You would have loved him more if you had gone over there.
No, I don't know. I think it's great for the game when you got a player sticking to his club, Damo.
All right, speaking of trades, that one didn't happen, thankfully for St Kilda fans. But Damo's agenda kicks us off with some trade news.
Yeah, Messiah Wanganeen Millera's club, the Saints are the focus here, guys, as we do assess what they've done. So re-signed Messiah Wanganeen Millera. Tom de Koning about to come in, and there's also a genuine interest in that player there, Jack Silvani, whose father, Stephen, is at the St Kilda Footy Club. And while publicly they are trying to distance Stephen from the pursuit of Jack and saying that's a Ross Lyon and Graham Allen-led pursuit, clearly as a list boss, as he is, there's an interest in it. But look, there's a bit of momentum being generated here, from what they're doing. But what does it do, just from your experiences with the incumbents? And they've still got to yet re-sign Marcus Windhager, and Rowan Marshall is signed for next year, but he does have a decision to make.
Yeah, well, it's difficult, and you think of equalisation and salary caps. When you start signing players on big money like TDK and Messiah, then you're going to lose players along the way. So whether that ends up being Windhager or Marshall, but it seems like St Kilda are going down the path that they want to pay their match winners, their stars, and then they'll have more role players who will be on lesser money. So it's going to be a fascinating watch and a nice little case study over the next couple of years.
Just before we move off it, do you agree with what they're doing?
No. I don't think it's sustainable. Like the best footy clubs I look at across the years, you've got Sydney, Geelong, Hawthorn, they've never done it, so...
Yeah. Interesting space to watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
As it is at the Melbourne Footy Club, who are fine-tuning their process to find a new coach. The Simon Goodwin exit. Nathan Buckley has been the favourite potential candidate.
Still favourite?
Still favourite, yeah. Cal Toomey reporting on AFL.com.au in the past 24 hours, TJ, that Danny Daly, Corey Enright, Ken Hinkley, Cameron Bruce have taken themselves out of the mix. We knew that Adam Simpson and John Longmire had already done that. They went into this process wanting an experienced candidate. He certainly stands right now as the main option. He's got to get through the process, and there will be an exploration of 5 or 6 others in part of that, and they are intent to get this done in grand final week and maybe even a bit before that. But let's see what it does. It's so crucial because so many decisions have to be made on their list, including guys who are contracted. Clayton Oliver, Christian Petrarca, forefront of list, but that will be a coach's decision, and rightly so.
Yeah, and players want to meet the new coach too before they make a decision themselves if they still want to be part of the footy club going forward. So it's a huge appointment, one they've got to get right.
Yep. As we saw in the week, during the week, that Jeremy Cameron, 5-time All-Australian, was had the status as captain added to his CV on this night. It's a ceremonial choice, and I personally don't mind it. They've done it before with Alex Rance, they've done it with Buddy Franklin, they've done it with Tom Hawkins.
Yep.
Sometimes they go down the path of rewarding someone who's been in the team multiple times and just give him the status. Given they don't play against anyone, I don't have a great issue with it. I can understand that there are captains of teams in that team, and maybe Harris Andrews, if they were going to go down a form path, being a reigning
Yeah, well,
grand final captain.
You made the point he's a premiership captain and maybe he deserved it, but I think it's an honourable award. So I love how he gets stuck into the cracks of it all. But to be honest, that team's never going to play a game of footy, and I think you reward consistent performance over a long period of time.
All right, terrific stuff, and it was a great night, that's for sure. But Nick Dacos on the bench, just one of the anomalies you would think. We'll take a break here on the Sunday Footy Show, back with another of Llordo's deep dives very shortly.
Make the most of the cooler months with a winter retreat at Langham Hotels and Resorts. In Melbourne, Sydney or the Gold Coast, enjoy a room upgrade, buffet breakfast for two, bottle of sparkling and late checkout. The Langham Melbourne, a proud supporter of the Sunday Footy Show.
As a young bloke growing up in the mid-80s, it was all about Jason Dunstall. Absolutely idolised Jason for what he was, the player he was. I'm going to celebrate him this morning. We celebrated James Hird earlier at number 7 and the Chief, Jason Dunstall, at number 6. Could arguably be at number 1, so we'll debate that as the morning goes on. But look at this record, 269 games, the third most goals of all time, 1,254, 4 premierships, 3 Colemans, 12-time leading goal scorer, 4 Hawthorn best and fairest, and he's been equally as influential off the field with what he's done for the Hawthorn Football Club. But we'll start with just his marking and his power. Like, he had an amazing ability to protect space like no other forward in the game. So, such a smart person, Jason. You see how intelligent he is off the field. Well, he was equally as intelligent on the field with his ability just to protect the space of the ball. So even he'd get on a hard lead, he'd stop, prop and see that it was going to go over his head and protect the space of the ball. And that's why I said I idolised Jason. Even that tap down, spin, snap around his body. So he was a complete player, Jason Dunstall, and he was just it's why he's a legend in the AFL Hall of Fame for what he could do for the club, captain as well. And could do anything really in the game, Jason.
And there was a longevity component to it in the end, wasn't there, Llordo? He got banged up late, but he still performed. And you mentioned the strength, but the explosive nature in which he played footy too, and the timing of the leads and the footy smarts and the preparedness to take on all comers and all moments and all parts of the play. It wasn't just the lead out, take the mark, go back and kick a goal. He was actually really agile for a guy who did carry a lot of size and a lot of bulk, and is still a very strong person even today. But there wasn't much he couldn't do. Right. And in the era in which he played, they often cleared out the forward line. But as we're seeing here, that these are goals being kicked in play on the ground, and he's still dominant in these moments. And he's able to get through passages and blockages. And it wasn't just the old-fashioned sort of stereotypical situation where he would lead out, take the goal, and go back and kick a goal. That's what he did so many times. But look at this. And some of this is on the wrong side of the body too, Rory.
Yeah, he's so skillful. But I love, like, you talk about being a smart footballer. He checks his shoulders, like head check, just to make sure no one's around, so he knows and understands he's got time and space.
You talk about culture in football clubs, and when I was at Hawthorn, they still talked about what Jason would do, and it was all about honing your craft and being really good at that. But his defensive pressure inside forward 50, which we built our three-peat on, was our defensive work inside forward 50. But he won 4 premierships. But he played well, and it probably doesn't get talked about enough how well he played in these grand finals. He kicked 6, 7, 4 and 6. So they're pretty good numbers, Rory.
In grand final, winning grand finals. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that you showed that package, Damo, because I think a lot of people who forget, they think he was a lead up, hit up, go back, have a shot, lead up, hit up. But he, as I said, he was as athletic for someone of that size as anyone that we've seen in the game. But he did kick the 100, Damo, 6 times.
Yeah, he did. And you did it twice, and that's an amazing achievement. Chief's done it, and he even forgets now the moment when it came. But to do it 6 times, he's only one of 27 in the history of the game, VFL, AFL, to kick 100. He's only 21 living people to have done so, and he did it 6 times. And just to get your head around that, even though it's a different era, Rory, just to get your head around the fact that he reached the 3 figures on 6 separate occasions, and inclusive within that was a season in 1992 where he kicked 145.
Is he one of the best set shots, or he'd be top 3 behind Llordo and maybe Plugger? Is he one of the best set shots that has played the game?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to mount the Jason Dunstall case in that argument, you're going to win as well.
And I always looked at like the past and the previous best set shots, and they all had simple technique, Llordo. I know you're big on it, but his technique was so simple and so honed in, it's no wonder he kicked 100.
And I did run out for one of those centuries too.
Did you?
Oh, you did? You were there.
Did you?
One of my best mates growing up was a mad Hawthorn supporter, so I'd go with the family, and the Adelaide Crows at Waverley, I ran out.
How close did you get?
No, not close enough to touch it.
Well, 1989, he played State of Origin as well, and What about the forward line? So you had Dunstall. This was the full forward line. Dunstall, Lockett, Ablett.
That was the narrative, wasn't it? It can't happen. You can't do that.
Yeah.
It worked beautifully.
And even that was in the first minute where he decided to pass to Lockett when he could have gone back and had a shot himself. And they both hit the scoreboard. They kicked 5 and 4 goals respectively. And, yeah, they just lit it right up in this game. And even though he was and still is a very, very proud Queenslander, lit it up for Victoria.
Well, I don't think we'll ever get back to the days of seeing full forwards do it the way they've done it. A little bit this year, we're seeing more goals, Rory, but this is when footy was just absolutely flying. These big key forwards coming out of the square, and Dunstall was one of them.
Damo said a very proud Queenslander, so it was somewhat fitting, wasn't it, in 1994, that he should actually chalk up his 1,000th goal, and it was against Brisbane in Brisbane. So
look at the celebrations here, TJ.
Yeah.
Watch him celebrate this.
He's not a big celebrator, Bung.
Pretty understated. So, I mean, that was just one of his crowning glories. And you mentioned a little earlier about how he got banged up in his career, particularly late in his career. Don't forget, in 2015, suffered a horrific injury with the depressed fracture of the skull.
15? No.
Yeah, I beg your pardon?
2015.
Oh, sorry. I forget when it was.
Well, it's during his career, yeah. It was, I mean, it might have been career-ending at one stage.
Yeah,
it was terrible. He was back about 6 weeks later, still kicking goals.
But hence the headguard.
The headguard, yeah. The bell helmet, as we often joke with him on Triple M. Llordo, look, he was banged up late, wasn't he? But he's still impacted. And I remember the merger game, the famous merger game, where he kicked 10 goals to help them win that game. And even in 1998, when he returned, having not played since round 14, to fare well the competition.
And it was a brutal game when you were full forward back in those days, and you had some nasty full backs, and this was a big talking point when Craig Kelly went pinchy on him, Damo. So I had Stephen Criddock whack my hand and all those sorts of things, but he just did not relent, Craig Kelly.
It's a brave man, though, Craig Kelly. He's got more bravery than I thought he had until this moment, because I wouldn't take on Chief at anything. He's still got the biggest forearms of any person I've ever seen.
And chest.
And chest.
That's 2 alpha males going up.
Yeah. I think Chief had him covered. But just playing late in your career, Lloyd, I mean, you didn't play as late age-wise, but just knowing your body doesn't quite allow you to do what you once did. Yet, look at him. I mean, he can barely walk on the ground. He came back in this game, round 22, 1998, v Fremantle. He had 5 shots at goal, kicked 2 goals, but he hadn't played since round 14 that year and was banged up all year, and yet still contributed right to the very end.
Absolutely, and I know the young players at all, you see, like the Crows and the Hayes, they just idolised Chief, like the way they spoke about the chieftain. And I did see celebrate, I think one of his last footy trips to Chief, he was on fire in London, so I got to celebrate a good night in a dungeon nightclub with the Chief, which was very good. Well, the Chief was good enough to give us a message. I'm not sure Chief was quite happy with number 6, but he was good enough to do a message for us. Thanks, Chief.
Hey, Lloyd, I just wanted to say thank you for considering me worthy of being in the best players list. Number 6, it's not overly impressive, but it's there, I guess. Most people expecting you reserving the top 1, 2, 3 spots, probably for yourself and a couple of others, and that's fair enough. That's all good. Hey, did you realise that for apparently 9 or 10 weeks, way back when, Nathan was the best player in the game? Apparently. I hope that's not enough to get him in the list. I'd be horrified to share the same list as him. Anyway, I appreciate the consideration. It is a great privilege, and I hope you have a great one. Cheers, mate.
Thanks, Chief. One of the great all-round people, can do it all, the Chief. So, what a career he had, and it's nice to celebrate it this morning.
And a great media career, too.
One of the best.
I mean, aside from football, he's forged a very, very good media career and continues to do so. Alrighty, we'll take a break. Fantastic stuff. So next week, we're down to number 5. Any hints?
I'm still trying to get my head around. No, I know the top. I won't give it away too much, but a couple of cats are involved. And
what's that? All right, we'll take a break. You're watching the Sunday Footy Show Deep Dive. We're down to 5, and it all starts next week. Welcome back. You are watching the Sunday Footy Show. Of course, no men's football this weekend, but there's still been an absolute swag of AFLW. And to bring us up to speed, Jess Webster joins us again. And are you out of breath, having rushed back from Collingwood?
Yes, had to weave my way through traffic to get here in time, TJ. But a massive round of AFLW. It is the AFLW's Indigenous round this weekend. And as we take a look at the results from round 3, we kicked off at Dreamtime in Darwin on Friday night. And it was a record crowd in Darwin that saw Essendon beat Richmond by 15 points, and some other massive results throughout the round. Adelaide by 32 over the Giants. West Coast came back and kicked 5 goals to none in the last quarter to get over St Kilda. Sydney in a thriller over Geelong Geelong by 5 points. Port Adelaide, that we're going to touch on in a moment, broke the record for highest AFLW score yesterday in a big win over the Gold Coast Suns, and Hawthorn in a tough slog by 4 points over Western Bulldogs.
Now, you say it's Indigenous round this weekend and next, and this ball is of some significance to you personally.
Yes, how good does that look? That ball for the AFLW Indigenous round, designed by a former teammate of mine from back home in Brisbane. A shout out to Emma McNeil, who's watching this morning, a proud Martu woman, and the design represents daughters across generations. So that ball is a feature for this weekend and next weekend, because we have AFLW Indigenous round over 2 weekends.
So you spoke about Yatapulti and Port Adelaide. They had a massive game, but Matilda Schultz, she's 20 years old. She's an absolute superstar of the competition, probably one of the best rucks going round, kicked 4 goals.
Oh, her day yesterday was absolutely unbelievable. So Port Adelaide broke the record with 108 points, but I want to read to you her stat line, which is out of this world. 22 disposals, 8 marks, 16 hit-outs, 4 goals, including a goal of the year contender, 14 score involvements, 7 clearances, 7 inside 50s. Every single one of those stats, she led her team in yesterday. And this was a beauty from the pocket. She kicked 4 in their massive win. So they beat Melbourne's record of 107 points from back in season 6. A massive win over the Suns. But this is what makes me so excited about the AFLW competition. As you mentioned, Rory, this woman is 20 years of age. She won Mark of the Year last season. She's a ruck doing things like this on the footy field. It is unbelievable, a complete day out, and so exciting for the future of the AFLW.
Jazz Garner's still got them all covered though, Jess, hasn't she? And who's she got today? She's now adding bags of goals, as she did last week, to her repertoire?
Yes, well, she kicked 6 yesterday amongst 20, last week against, in amongst 28 disposals or whatever she had. So Jazz Garner, I think, still the best player in the competition for mine. But the Sunday matches, Collingwood taking on Melbourne. North Melbourne Kangaroos, as you mentioned, they are aiming to break the record for most wins in a row in the AFLW, shooting for their 15th against Fremantle. And then we have a massive game up in Brisbane to round out round 3 of the AFLW. Brisbane taking on Carlton, and we're joined now by one of Carlton's forwards in Tara Bohanna, who is up there in Brisbane at the moment. Tara, welcome to you. What's the weather like in Brizzy at the moment? And try not to make us too jealous here in Melbourne.
No, it's looking awesome today. It's looking outside my window, it's blue skies and no wind, which we love. The team arrived yesterday. It was a bit windy, but it's completely gone now. So looking forward to a great game tonight.
And Carlton are yet to play Brisbane in the competition yet, but you've played in Springfield for a couple of times. When you're playing for the Suns, you're one of the biggest moves in the off-season, joining Carlton. You are a Blues fan growing up. I'd love to know, when you pulled on the Blues jumper for the first time, how did that feel?
Yeah, it was pretty surreal. That round 1 game was awesome. It was just a great atmosphere as well at Icon Park. I must admit, we're running up to go into the banner, and I definitely had a few tears in my eyes. I was just pretty overwhelmed, but also just pretty excited to get out there and play for the Blues. So you kind of can't underestimate how that feels when you've grown up a supporter all your life.
And a bit of a transition phase in your career at the moment. You're a former captain of the Suns and joining Carlton. I'd love to know, are you approaching this next chapter of your career any differently, or how are you sort of approaching these next few years of your career?
Yeah, it's funny. It's probably obviously a bit of a change going from captain. I mean, I'm in the leadership team, but it's definitely a different vibe for me. Probably putting a bit less pressure on myself and just really wanting to enjoy my footy. And probably on the other side of it, we've got quite a young team and quite a young forward line. So for me, it's, I guess, trying to grow them as well and make them the best footballers they can be. So for me, that's probably how I see the next few years going, and just a really exciting group. So I'm pretty keen to see how we can go.
Tara, Jess and I called your first game this year, and I had a little bit of difficulty pronouncing the Irish names. You've got a new one. How's she settling in, and how do we pronounce her name?
Yeah, Shifra is making her debut today, so it is Shifra O'Connell. It is challenging, I must admit, with all those names, but really excited for her to get her opportunity. She's a really strong defender, and her and Aisling, who have come in this year along with Maria Cannon, just excited to see how they can go. They've obviously gone from a game that doesn't have tackling, so that's been a massive part for them, just trying to learn how to do that. So, she's got so much speed behind her, so that's really exciting. I guess joining that with her height as well, which is obviously sometimes a combination that can be quite damaging. So, looking forward to see her run out today, and I know she's got a few family members that have flown over from Ireland too, so keen to see her.
And a massive clash against the Lions. I put on a big score against Fremantle last week. How do you approach the battle today? You pushed Hawthorn to within 8 points last week. You would take some confidence out of that into this game against Brisbane, no doubt.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, you want to be able to compete and hopefully beat the best. So for us, that game last week gave us some great confidence. Obviously, a lot skinnier ground at Frankston compared to what Brighton Homes is. So it'll be good to see how we can use it, but we just want to keep being bold with the ball and going down the corridor and using that width. So we know that Brisbane, obviously had a massive win last week against Fremantle, but we know that they're always going to be a massive challenge. They're going to want to move the ball quick and hopefully it should be a good competitive game, and we just want to keep, as I said, pushing and hopefully beating the best. I guess that's the only way you're going to get up the ladder.
Absolutely. Well, thanks so much for your time. Go well today, Tara. And don't forget, for Carlton fans watching, AFLW Indigenous Round kicks on next weekend. Carlton have a home game at Icon Park against the Western Bulldogs. Tickets are $15 and under 18s are free. So we look forward to that next week. Thanks for your time, Tara.
Thanks, Jess.
All right, terrific stuff. That'll be big at Princess Park next Saturday, that's for sure. And as you say, get in quick. Hey, animal fact.
Something different today, TJ. So it's animal fiction, Llordo, and the reason I'm doing this because one of us on the panel, down that end of the panel, was fooled by a piece of AI recently and suggested we run it as part of animal fact. And that person on the panel, who I'm going to get to admit to it in a moment, thought this cat was real and thought that was a real dive into a pool. This same person thought this cat did 4 somersaults and had a clean entry into the diving pool, and this same person also thought that reverse somersault was real. And this one was a nice, just nice, simple. Now, anyway, I'm going to give the 4 of you a chance, whoever it was, to put their hand up and admit to who thought that was real.
I've never seen it before, so it wasn't me.
Wasn't you?
Yeah, I'm the same as you, Llordo. I don't think it could be me.
I remember looking at it going, oh, this is awesome. How good. Nah, that can't be real. So it wasn't me either.
It wasn't.
TJ?
What, it was me?
You thought that was real.
I didn't.
You said that in our group chat and said we should run this on Animal Fact.
I did not.
Yes, you did.
Can you show me that text?
You thought that was real. And so we had to change the whole stinger for the segment to make it animal fiction.
Hang on, I did. Oh, no, that's not right. Have you got the text?
No, it was a verbal conversation.
It was a verbal conversation.
You said we should run this.
I did say that I was a bit like Rory. I saw something and then I realised...
Don't bring me to this. I never thought it was real.
Brownie got filled by the kangaroo holding the boarding pass about to jump on a Qantas plane. He thought that was real as well. So that'll be next week's Animal Fiction.
That's why it was with some trepidation I threw to you there, because I knew something was coming. I didn't think it was going to be completely fictional, though. All right, good work, Damo. Thanks very much. Don't forget, later tonight, it is Footy Furnace, your one-stop shop for all the information leading into the finals. You've got James Hurd, you've got Jimmy Bartell, and, of course, you've got the host with the most, and you've got Tom Morris. That's all coming up tonight. Check your local guides. Welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show. It is that time of week, of course, where we get to have Louis' handball. It's been good having you back, mate.
Oh, it's been good to be back.
Yeah, what's been the highlight of the show for you so far?
Nate not being here, obviously.
Yeah, great. Jeez, don't you pounce. Like, you actually make your way up the highway even before you find there's a vacancy. But anyway, it's always good to have you, Isaac. And it's great to have a couple of AFLW stars in Zoe Besanko. How are you, Zoe?
I'm good, how are you?
Yeah, well, thanks. And also Serene Watson. How are you?
Chompers, lovely to see you.
Now, who pushed up to that?
I had to start you off with Dal. Dal got me into it.
Big Del Santo, your coach. Right, OK, he'll pay for that. But unfortunate result yesterday, but you do fight to live another day up north next week.
Up north next week, yep. We had a tough loss yesterday, but we just have to move on pretty quickly and make sure we're reviewing really well and making sure we're set up for the Cairns trip as well. It's going to be hot up there, so making sure we're ready for that.
Now, just before the guys ask you questions, any relation to Neil Besanko?
Yeah, he's my Pop's brother, so great uncle.
Right, OK, then, yeah, well, former great St Kilda player.
Well, Nick Del Santo did put you up to it. How is he going?
He's going very well. He was pretty stiff to not get a call up for the Legends game. He has told me that, but no, he's unreal and such a caring man. So just loves the footy club and loves the women's space. So I'm excited to see what he can do with our club.
How are you seeing the comp in terms of the best sides versus where you guys are trying to get to? Like, is the gap still pretty wide?
Yeah, I think it's getting a lot better. I think, especially this season, it's interesting to see a few clubs climbing up. Like we've seen Sydney go 3-0 and Essendon go 3-0. So it's pretty interesting to see that gaps start to close. So we just have to make sure that we're continuing to push for that gap as well.
So you're enjoying the transition from netball, obviously at an early age, to football now?
Definitely. It's such a different environment, but the team side of things, like just having so many girls around you, and it's just such the energy that everyone brings, it's very exciting. Lots of fun.
And the excitement that was generated out of the Nasai, Wanganeen and Miller re-signing, it was pretty significant from the outside looking in. I can only imagine what it was like internally.
Oh, it was unbelievable. And I remember when it got announced, we were actually around the club and the club just erupted. It was probably the coolest feeling in the world. So unbelievable for him to stay on for 2 years, and I think it puts so much hope in the club and hope in him as well. He obviously designed our Indigenous Guernsey as well, so pretty amazing man, and it's exciting to see what he can do.
And as we mentioned earlier in the show, he's on Footy Classified on Tuesday night, which will be great.
Will be awesome. So $2 million is the target for an AFL men's place. It's not unlike me to ask a money question here. What is the target you're in for an AFLW player?
Great question. I think, it's up to the club and up to the what the AFL wants to do, I guess. And I think we just want to continue to push to be a professional sport and continue to become a full-time athlete like the men's program and make that really aligned. So ensuring we are pushing and doing everything we can to get to that spot.
All right, fantastic stuff. We'll put you to the test in just a moment. But this is the end-of-year prize, and it is fantastic too, the winner of Loose Handball, to receive this spectacular bed, including a fully adjustable frame from Temper. These are so good, I actually bought one as opposed to Nathan, who begs, steals, borrows. He's got about 4 at home. Experience truly restful sleep with the all-new Temper Ergo Pro Smart. Delivery and installation is included. The guys that came around and did ours were fantastic, by the way. Plus a full set of elite golf clubs from our top mates at Callaway, along with a custom fitting at Callaway HQ. Total prize value around $15,000. That is the end of year. You cannot go anywhere near those golf clubs, though.
Yeah, I unfortunately broke a driver of my partner's, so golf clubs are a big no-no for me. Well, I just thought I was like chilling, and we just had a few shots. I didn't hit any balls, like no. And then I just thought I'd lean on the golf club, and it's nah. So to be honest, I don't think it was me. I reckon the golf clubs were just old.
It won't happen with a Callaway, I can tell you that. All righty, now. You know the rules, 5 off each hand.
Yep.
All right, so your preferred and your non-preferred. Yep. You want to go first, though?
Oh, I can go first.
Okay. Ooh.
No pressure.
Now, these are full size, too. You don't.
Yeah, they're beauty.
Move the target.
That's good.
Yeah, okay. So you can put your foot on the line.
Don't step over, though, like Llordo.
Like Llordo. Llordo steps over the line.
All right.
Right, so.
Yeah, good start, though.
Confident start.
Good start.
7.
Oh, very
Go
generous.
well.
It's very generous.
The left hand too.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Nah, it's got to go through.
Oh, thanks, Einstein.
5.
Welcome.
How many is that on my left? I forgot.
4. One more.
One more.
Yeah, beauty. Good hand now.
Okay.
Opposite.
Hang on.
No, hang on.
Stop over.
No, so
That was just a
We're
warm-up.
swapping it. That's just a warm up.
So you go.
Yeah, screen goes.
Beauty. Right,
Okay,
let's
right.
Let's go.
5.
Get in.
Hands.
Because you got a bullseye in the warm-up, didn't you?
Did, Bob?
Yeah, we both did.
5.
Get in.
Sorry, mate.
7.
Is that 5?
Now switch up.
Yeah,
That's
so 33 plays 31.
we're up here.
Serene just ahead there. So come on, So.
Oh, God, not after that last one.
5.
Oh, generous.
Is Llordo.
5.
Wasn't a bullseye, Llordo?
7.
So close.
Close.
7 to beat my score. Or equal.
And that was your non-preferred.
Yeah.
That's great. All right, so 62 is the score. Serene,
no pressure.
It's all up to you now.
Nail a 10 early.
5. 7.
Good power.
7.
That was close.
Oh, you've got me here.
Get in.
What do we need?
Well,
Just a 5. 5 will get it done.
No!
well done.
It was coming.
That is fantastic. Terrific stuff there. Well, congratulations to our winner today. But of course,
Amazing.
you both go home with terrific prize packs. And all the very best for the remainder of the season. Massive trip to Cairns next week. Who are you playing?
Hawthorn.
Right, okay then. And why is it being played up there?
I think Hawthorn has a connection with Darwin.
Right.
Cairns, sorry.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think they play up there once or twice a year.
Okay, don't make the travel arrangements, otherwise you'll end in Darwin,
Exactly.
all right? So definitely can.
So avoid me.
Okay, all right, good stuff. Thanks for coming in. Don't be strangers. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Thanks so much, guys.
All right, terrific stuff. All right, that wraps it up for this edition of the Sunday Footy Show. Nathan normally takes us out with some pearly piece of wisdom. What do you got?
May the sun shine on you like it shines on Nate's forehead.